how to use the Pomodoro Technique to maintain your focus and be more productive. Hi, I'm Lori from LoriThayer.com, and we are going through a series on how to maintain your focus and get more done. Now, we started with knowing where your time is going, and I'll link to that video if you want to watch that. Secondly, we are today focusing on the Pomodoro Technique to work in focused groups, blocks of time. And third, we will tomorrow work on how to block out sites that distract you. So let's go ahead and look at this. Now, this is an article I found that goes through a bunch of different apps you can use for the Pomodoro Technique. Now, what the Pomodoro Technique is working in focus blocks. And you can vary the time. Mostly it's 25 minutes, 25 minutes, 25 minutes, and then like a 5 or 10 minute break. So, but you can adjust that to what works well for you. And the deal is when you're doing that focused 25 minutes on a task, you are single-minded, right? That is the task you are working on. You don't let yourself be distracted by anything else. So you kind of do these hyper intense focused bits of time on work, and then you take a break. And maybe your next 25 minutes you focus on another task. And then the third one, another task. And then you take that break, right? And give your brain a little rest. But this kind of hyper-focused act makes you get a lot more. You'll be surprised how much you can get done when you've decided, I'm going to be really focused. I'm not going to allow anything to get in the way. You'll be really amazed what you can accomplish. So there's all sorts of apps that help you do this, that help you set up the time so you can be focused, or you can just use a good old kitchen timer or the timer on your phone. So whatever you like. But let's go through a couple of the apps just so you can check out what they are. So in this article, it's suggesting, every 4 Pomodoros, then you take a longer break. Like I said, you can play with that and see what works best for you. All right, so this is going to go through a bunch of different apps that you can check out. So this first one, Focused Booster, lets you customize the timer to the times that you want, and it's web and desktop. You can see it's free. There's a pro version. Pomodoro Done is another one, has a free option to check out. Pomodoro Keeper is a mobile timer. There's another app that I don't see on here that I've used before, 50/50. That's another one I would check out. For iOS users, Pomodoro Keeper. Marinara Timer. It's a web-based one, so it's not going to work. It's, you're going to have to be on your computer, or I'm sure you could bring it up on your iPhone on, like Safari or the Google Chrome browser. And then the Pomodoro Time Pro. So all sorts of different ones to check out and see, what they look like, what works for you. This is that first one, Focus Booster. Pomodoro. So it's very simple, right? This is a very, very simple tool to use. What this is showing here, this is an article from Zapier, which is a tool that helps you automate tasks. So you can actually connect, and you could connect this. This is to rescue time. So you could say, start a focus session when you have a Pomodoro timer. I think this is the icon for rescue time. Or you can add every time you do this, a Pomodoro app timer stops, it creates a Google Calendar. So it's kind of creating that calendar for you. So these could even help you track your time initially, or adjust it once you were starting this technique and see how that changes your time. And you can see it integrates with that Toggle app we talked about yesterday as well, with how a time tracker, and Toggle is one that you could use to actually give somebody else. You can export and kind of give them what your time is. So, if you're charging a client for the time done, there's a bunch of things that it integrates with, which I think is pretty cool. That's one I'm really interested in looking at. So Pomodoro Keeper is Apple users, and this is kind of nice. So it's going to show you over time how you've been doing, which is kind of nice, right? Because it's like, if you want to improve your time, if you're tracking it and you can see, how did I do yesterday? How am I stacking up to a month? And you kind of it helps encourage you to be a little competitive with yourself, which can really be good, right? Because it's always better for us to just, I think, to compete with ourselves rather than other people to improve. Why don't we keep trying to be a little bit better than we were yesterday? Maybe get a little bit more done or tweak how we're getting things done. And, if we're efficient and we're deciding these are the tasks we're going to do, and we're using the Pomodoro to be focused, and then you can get your task done, and then you're like, I'm good. I accomplished what I wanted to get done, and now I have free time to spend with my family, spend with my kids, go meet a friend for coffee. And you can feel good about that because you accomplished what you set out to. So here's that marinara timer one. So again, very simple, it's saying no strings, really easy. But like I said, you can just use your kitchen timer or the timer on your phone. But of course, that's not going to give you the history in being able to compare over time. So it depends what you want out of this tool. I would start with a super free option just to see if you like it and if it's working for you. So this Pomodoro Time Pro, which of course is going to be a paid one, right? It has a whole lot more things you can do. And so here's it saying that they've listed their to-dos and then they're doing the Pomodoros on them to finish up the work. So that's kind of nice. You can set your to-do list in the day and then do, okay, I'm going to Pomodoro this task, do 25 minutes. And you may not finish that whole task in the 25 minutes, and you may choose, okay, I'm going to do one more Pomodoro, or I may come back to this tomorrow or later in the day, right? But it's a really good way to play with working with your time and really focusing. Okay, and here's some other ones down here. You can see a whole list, and I'll include this list. This is interesting. I actually use Kanban Flow at work to manage our projects, but I have never used the Pomodoro timer with it, so I'll check that out maybe. A lot of different options, and they're not actually listing this here, but if you use Trello to track your time, there are also extensions that you can put on Trello to do Pomodoros with Trello and track your time. So again, I will include a link to this article so you can read it more thoroughly and find the links to these different applications. But I really highly recommend that you just try the Pomodoro technique. So with your list of to-dos for today, look at the first one. Give yourself 25 minutes focused work. Don't check your phone. Don't check any other websites. Just focus and work on that task. And then take the next task and the next task and see how that works, and see how it's a lot easier to maintain your focus when you know, okay, I am heads down working on this task. And then after 3 or 4 of these Pomodoro sessions, now I get a break, and you've earned that break at that time too, right? So give it a try. Let me know how it goes. And if you're interested in more productivity secrets, join my Facebook group.